Right, so today's video is going to be a complete autumn lawn care plan. We are early this year because I know a lot of people are going to be prepping and preparing for the things they're going to be doing to their lawns. So today we're going to be going through the do's, the don'ts, and how actually for you, what you do to your lawn might not necessarily be the same as what everyone else is doing to theirs. So before we do anything to our lawns in autumn, the question we need to ask ourselves with everything is why? Why are we doing it? And most importantly, is it going to help your lawn through the winter or is it going to hinder your lawn? So firstly, do you need to renovate your lawn? And there's a really easy test to know whether you need to or not. If you look at your grass and it's full of weeds, then the likelihood is that you're probably going to have to kill off the entire space and start from scratch. And I'm talking like weed city, by the way. However, if you look at your lawn and it's full of just mainly grass plants, but those grass plants are quite thin, and when you look at them over the top, you can see quite a bit of soil, then you won't necessarily need to kill everything off. What you might want to do is scarify the lawn to disturb the soil, overseed, top dress, and that way those new plants will come through and it'll give you a nice lush thick lawn going into the winter. And both those processes, whether it be starting it from scratch by killing everything off or just overseeding, I would start as soon as possible, because the longer you can give those plants to establish, the stronger and healthier your lawn will be going into the winter. However, if you look at your lawn and it's filled with mostly grass plants and you look over the top and it's really, really dense, then ask yourself that question: why are you going to renovate? And really, do you need to? If your lawn is looking boss and it's in a really good condition, then a renovation might be completely off the cards. However, there might still be certain things that you need to do to your lawn, and one of the biggest things people do in the autumn is the scarify, and it's a great thing to do at this time of year, because what you're doing by scarifying is you're removing excess thatch. Now, massive emphasis on the word excess. Thatch isn't bad. Thatch is just dead material that breaks down over time, feeds your soil, and it feeds the plant. However, when you walk across your lawn and it gets a little bit spongy, that's how you know there's a little bit too much thatch in there. And also, removing some of the excess is quite a good thing going into the winter, because what it means is that that soil can breathe more easily. And where your lawn is will depend on when really you should be scarifying. These two lawns in my back garden get no sun for 5 months of the year, meaning that I'm going to be scarifying both of these in August, so that they've got enough time through September and the early October to start to thicken up in those spaces where the scarification blades will have gone. However, I've got a lawn out at the front that sits in the sun pretty much all day, even through the winter. With that one, I'm not in as big of a rush to scarify that, and that might be one that I scarify as we get into mid to late September, because it's still going to have sufficient time to be able to recover and thicken back up before then we get through into the winter. Now, the next thing I want to discuss is aeration, because again, it's something that's vitally important for some lawns, but not as important for other lawns. These two lawns in the back garden, because they sit in the shade for 5 months of the year, it means that they're more likely to get saturated than a lawn that is sitting in full sun, because it's much harder for the water back here to evaporate. By aerating them, what you're doing is delaying the time in which the soil might become saturated. The roots of your plants are less likely to die off, resulting in a lot less dieback on your lawn. However, think about the lawn again at the front, the one that's sitting in full sun. I'm not going to be aerating that quite possibly until we get into the new year. And the reason being is because it's sitting in the sun all day and that water is evaporating quite a lot, it's less likely to become as saturated as these in the back garden. And what about feeding them? Because there's loads of feeds you can buy, and most stuff you'll see from feed suppliers is autumn winter mixes, which people often apply far too late. They're not designed to be applied in the winter. They're designed to be applied to prepare your lawn for the winter, so it gives the feed the chance to do its thing before your grass kind of becomes a little bit dormant over the winter and has really no use for that feed. I use an organic feed called True Grass. It's a soil conditioner. It feeds the soil, which then feeds the plant, and the percentage of nitrogen isn't too high, meaning that you're not going to get a massive spike of growth. I do have a discount code in the description below for 10% off True Grass. If you don't use it, like, no one's going to die. But if you are already using True Grass at the moment, which I know a lot of people are who watch these videos, then get onto that discount, save yourselves a bit of money, get yourself some stuff for the autumn, bit of bang, bit of boom, happy days. What about killing weeds? What's the best way to remove them? Now, you can pull them by hand. However, what you are risking doing is leaving some of the root system down below. Next spring, that weed might just simply come straight back, and it'll come back, by the way, with a vengeance. So there's two products you can use. There is Weedol, which kills the weed but not your lawn, so you can spray it. You don't have to stress about the grass plants around it, and that'll quite often kill the plants off. However, the second method is my favourite method because it is complete obliteration, and that is using Roundup. Mix a little bit of Roundup with water, get yourself a little paintbrush or one of those little cotton swab fellas, little earbud, little geezers, dip it in your Roundup mix, rub it onto the leaf, only the leaf of the weed you want to kill, and sit back and watch, and within 2 weeks that weed is going to go to crispy tan. It'll turn yellow, it'll die off. You can pick off the yellow leaves, and don't stress about leaving the root system below, because what the Roundup will do is it'll actually transfer itself into the roots. So once the leaves are yellow, if you pull them off, that root system will continue to be destroyed. So let's finish off then with cutting your lawn. How often should we be cutting, and what height should we be cutting at? And again, it's like with everything we've mentioned so far in this video, it's all lawn dependent, location dependent, situation dependent. Ideally, you want to have a longer grass plant going into the winter, because the longer the grass plant, the longer and more established that root system is going to be. And the stronger the roots are, the more likely it is that that grass is going to survive. What I would do over the next few months, through the rest of August, through into September and October, is to continue cutting regularly. So you're talking twice a week, reducing it then down to once a week as we maybe get into October. By the end of October, maybe every couple of weeks, until the grass stops growing. And you'll know that because when you go to cut your lawn, next to nothing is going to come off. But as you cut, increase the height slightly every time. If you've got a rotary mower with 5 to 6 different increments on there that you can change it with, then maybe every 4 to 5 mows, just increase it by 1 notch as you go. And that way what you're doing is you're encouraging that grass to grow a little bit longer, but at the same time, it's going to till it. So you're not letting the grass grow really, really leggy before you give it a cut. You're letting it grow a little bit and cutting it, encouraging growth, letting it grow a little bit more and cutting it, encouraging more growth. Just gives you a much thicker, denser sward. Again, one that's more likely to survive through the winter. If you've got a cylinder mower, then what you can do is you can dial it into the nearest millimetre. So every time you cut, just increase it by a millimetre every single time. And that way it's going to do a similar thing to what you're doing with the rotary mower. But again, you're increasing that density every time you cut, whilst bringing the height of cut up slowly too. So hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. If you think I've missed anything, leave it down in the comment section below. Let me know what you're going to be doing as well. As I've said in a few of these videos recently, I don't always reply to the comments. I've not always got the time to, but I read all of them. It'd be interesting for other people to see what you guys are doing to actually help your lawns prepare for what is going to be a challenging winter if this summer has been anything to go by. So thanks for watching today's video. Give it a like if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe for more no-nonsense lawn tip videos. And finally, thanks for watching.